Welcome to Behind the Bower, where we share inspiring stories, fresh perspectives on the arts, and highlight the incredible people and organizations that make our creative community thrive. I'm your host, Lauren Hood, Program Coordinator at Bower Center for the Arts, and I'm so glad you're tuning in. Today, we're joined by Mackenzie, Caun, and Chandler Hood from Sentry Equipment in Forest, Virginia, this year's title sponsor for our annual fundraiser, Art of Pairing Martini and Moonshine. Sentry is a leading manufacturer and integrator of conveyor systems, palletizers, depalletizers, and advanced packaging equipment. As part of the ProMock family of companies, they bring incredible innovation and engineering expertise to the work they do, helping businesses all across the country package and deliver the products we use every day. We'll chat with Mackenzie and Chandler about what it's like to be a part of the Sentry, how they stay connected to the community, and why supporting events like Art of Pairing means so much to them. Good morning, y'all.
Good morning.
So excited to have you guys on. Well, I'm just going to start us off. Could you both introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about your roles at Sentry?
Yeah, I'll go first. So my name is Mackenzie Caun. I am currently the HR manager at Sentry Equipment. So I've been with Sentry for about 5 years, but kind of my role, the HR role, is to oversee like the people-related functions of the organization, ensuring a productive, compliant, and positive workplace. So key responsibilities are staffing, recruiting, employee relations, performance management, and just keeping things in check.
Yeah, and I'm Chandler. I've been with Sentry for 3 years. I run their marketing department there. My role includes, getting the word out there about Sentry, both to our customers and to our local community. Excited to be here.
Yeah, exciting titles. For those who may not be familiar, what does Sentry do and what makes their company stand out in your industry?
Well, I think you kind of hit it pretty good there in the intro. That's kind of how I explain it a lot is, we're in the manufacturing industry. Sentry designs, manufactures, and installs industrial conveyor systems and container handling machinery. So we have a full concept. We build in our plant, design in our plant, all of the above. But yeah, Chandler, anything you can think of extra?
No, it was perfect.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Love that. So then we'll just talk a little bit about like your partnerships and specifically the title sponsorship that you guys are doing for us for Art of Pairing Martinis and Moonshine. Thank you so much. So what inspired Sentry to get involved with this event?
Yeah, so Sentry for a long time, we actually were founded in 1980. Always been Lynchburg local, Bedford area. And we felt like in the last couple of years when we looked at our business, James and Brian, who were on the podcast last week, mentioned it. We had great ownership and great stake in our industry. We're a really well-known brand. We're just coming off of a national trade show, and people all over come by to see Sentry. But we can't say the same about our community. We're a large employer here in Lynchburg and in Bedford, and we took ownership of that. And we said, hey, how can we give back to the community that's given us so much? We're a people company, and we know that we can't do what we do without great people, and those fantastic individuals have come from this area. So we felt like it was important for us to identify events that felt like Sentry, that felt like something that was worth putting that logo on. As we'll talk about, that logo, our brand, means a lot to us. And this event was identified as one of those. Bower Center is really well known in the Bedford area. They have great community engagement. We love what they do for students and seniors, and we felt like it was a great pairing, pun intended, for Sentry and Bower to work together.
Yeah, we're really excited about that collaboration that we get to do with you guys, and we're really, really grateful for you guys supporting us in that way. And I love that you guys are wanting, because I know if you haven't noticed, Chandler Hood and Lauren Hood have the same name. We are married. So that's my husband. So I have become very familiar with Sentry, the community there, and just what you guys do. I still don't know what you guys do to like an extent, but I know kind of. And you guys are very well known, like nationwide. And then I always like try to explain like who and what and where Sentry is to other people. And they're like, oh, it's that big building on the hill. And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, I had no idea that that's what was in there. It's like, yeah. So I love that you guys are like extending out to your local community.
You can be honest. Most people say it's a prison. They think it's a prison when they walk by.
They do. It's crazy.
And it's not. It's not a prison.
Promise it's not.
And we've done a lot of work to change that view.
Yep.
It's just a beautiful building on top of a hill.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Sentry has built, a strong presence here in our region, but what are the ways that the company has stayed engaged with local community year round? So you're doing this with Art of Pairing, but what are some ways that like year round you guys are really staying plugged in, or if you have any future endeavors?
Yeah, so Chandler kind of mentioned it. It's been a thing in the last few years that we're really trying to get out there, but we do as much as we can throughout the year. So finding events like Art of Pairing has been awesome, but kind of a couple other things we've done. This year we got involved with Birdie for a Cause. So it was a really awesome event to be a part of. We got to have a golf team and have some fun, but also at the same time support, a family in the community that's going through a really hard time. So it's really neat to be able to see the impact in that way. And then like Chandler said, also good to see our logo in places that have never been there before. So just kind of a cool thing. We also recently sponsored the Bedford Truck and Tractor Pool. So again, we kind of mentioned we're figuring out where like our employees in our community would be to get our employees involved, but also to get future employees and go to where we think the people that would thrive at Sentry are and get our name out there. So that was a super fun event. We had actually a lot of employees attend. So it was really cool to be like, hey, we're here, we're Sentry. And then, just those trucks are impressive, and I've never seen anything like it. So it was really neat to watch. And
on that event too, it was really cool because I worked with the sponsor or the event organizer. And the first time she came over to kind of pick up some materials from us, she was like, I'm so happy to see Sentry finally giving back to the community, because she's someone who had been familiar with Sentry for a long time. Mm-hmm. And she was like, it's just great because I know the great things that this company does. And this is a huge opportunity for other people to learn about you, just like the Bauer event is. Mm-hmm. So it was cool to kind of get that response back of like, yes, this is what we're going for, and that it was noticed, and we're hoping that continues. Sorry, Mackenzie.
No, absolutely. Yeah, we have some other things coming up too. We can talk about it now, or I know later we'll talk about it a little bit too, but we love the holidays at Sentry. It's big time for us. We've done Halloween events in the past, things we'd like to get back to for the employees and things. But last year we, got the opportunity to be part of the Bright Nights light up event in Lynchburg, and that was so cool. Just to get to interact. And then Sentry for the past few years, probably since I joined the team, has really been big into Toys for Tots. And so kind of the thing that has become our claim to fame is we buy bikes. So we get to go to Walmart or Target or wherever and just buy up as many bikes as we can with the donations from our employees. And to the point where they are bringing box trucks to load these bikes up and get them back to the distribution center. So that's been really cool to get to see. It's something that our employees have really just taken a hold of, and they're like so excited to do each year over year. It's like a whole thing, it's really fun to get to see your employees really excited about something in the community and for other people. So yeah.
Absolutely. No, those are really fun things to hear about. And I've been involved in, I've attended several of those things that you listed. And they are super fun. And I love getting hearing the shout outs of Sentry for the partnership. So it's really cool. So what about on a personal level, having Sentry as doing these community partnerships, and them making a difference? What on a personal level does that affect you?
Yeah, no, it's really awesome. Like Mackenzie said, Mackenzie's been at Sentry a little bit longer than I have, but getting there, I've lived in this area since I was 10. So I grew up in Forest. I went to Jefferson Forest High School. I've always been a huge Bedford supporter, a big Bedford fan. Tried to give back as much as I could, and I love the schools and everything. And I had never heard of Sentry ever. Yeah. When I saw the opening, I was like, oh, what is this, and why do they need someone like me? And that's a problem, right? Especially once I started learning more about Sentry and learning how long they've been here. I mean, 1980, that's 45 years ago. Yeah. And they've always been here. And then when you learn about how successful this company's been we have 250 employees right now. I mean, that we are a large employer in this area. And so for me personally, it feels so great to see these community partnerships, but it also for Sentry, but also for the organizations that we're working with. The best part of Toys for Tots is seeing, Mackenzie and I run a lot of stuff at Sentry, and we do a lot of events. Toys for Tots is not one of those.
Yeah.
We may help with getting some boxes there, but it truthfully is employees that go around and collect the money and do the shopping.
Yeah.
And it's the joy on their face. Like, we don't have to ask them to do this. They're coming to us and saying, hey, when's Toys for Tots? When do we need to have this in?
Yeah.
So to be able to give back to these organizations, because we've been blessed as a company, that's worth all of it, right? And I wouldn't trade that for the world.
Yeah. I mean, I'll just piggyback, kind of through the COVID years, we were one of the few companies that were really blessed to have work, and we're not, we don't take that for granted. It was an awesome time, but because of that, we were so busy with the actual work of things, we didn't get to do a lot of events and giving back and things like that. So I think in the last few years, not that we're not still busy, we are very busy and again, blessed to be busy, but just getting to put a little focus more back into the community because we have team and employees that support that. It's been really cool. And just the excitement, even recently, like, employees, I'll run into them out and about in town and they have the Sentry logo on their shirt and they're like, hey, like, are you wearing your Sentry swag? I'm wearing mine too. Like, I got to tell somebody what Sentry is. I'm like, that didn't happen before. Like, that's been really neat to see just out and about in the community, people repping Sentry.
Yeah. Yeah, that's been a fun thing because he wears his Sentry merch all the time.
Yeah.
So like we are always like out and always gets called out. Be like, oh, you work for Sentry? I used to work there like 20 years ago.
Yes.
Or like, oh, my brother-in-law, or like, whatever. There's always
lots of connections.
Yeah, there seems to be so many connections, which is really cool.
I agree.
So I just want to circle back a little bit because we're just talking about like just your impact in the community in so many diverse ways. But specifically, I want to talk about supporting local arts and the community programming aligning with Sentry's values. Like, you talked a little bit about like why it was important to sponsor Bauer Center for the Arts, but is there like, talk about a little bit like the alignment and just like the arts in general? Is this something you may look into in the future?
Yeah, so we're always looking for new opportunities and things that just make sense for us. Me personally, I grew up in the arts. That's kind of how I got my foot into the door of the world of marketing. And we recognize the importance it is, just like, many things for children, whether it's sports or activities or arts for children and adults. It's super important to us. And we're proud to sponsor an event at Bauer that is getting the arts out there into the local community, especially in Bedford, and it's so important to do so.
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't think about like a manufacturing company being creative, but we have a lot of engineers and people who are intrinsically very creative. So getting to connect them with like a local nonprofit that's doing more in the arts is probably really neat. It's probably something they don't get, exposed to a lot because they're so in the engineering side of things, but then getting to plug into something else that's really creative and kind of doing that. I know my job, it's not necessarily creative. HR is a lot of paperwork, people, things like that. But when I get to do things like this and really plug into the creative, it's really cool. So I think a lot of our other employees probably feel very similar to that in opportunities like this.
Yeah, that's so fun. I love to hear that. So let's dive a little bit into your company culture and just like your experience as an employee as a whole. So what is it like to work at Sentry? Like, what makes y'all's culture special?
Yeah, so I think the biggest thing that I hear all the time is just Sentry is often described as warm and family-like. The things that keep people at Sentry and keep them coming back to Sentry is our people, and it's our culture and the culture that those people are creating. So I would say, we all genuinely care about one another. We work together as a team, help each other out as much as we can. You can find a good work-life balance at Sentry. We offer 3 different shifts in our production areas, and then multiple different start and end times. So, Sentry is working around the life that you can create in Bedford County in the Lynchburg area. So to be able to do that is really special for the people that live and work here.
Yeah.
Awesome. For someone considering joining the Sentry team, how would you describe the kind of person who would like thrive there, who may want to apply?
Yeah. So I think the kind of person who thrives at Sentry is just someone who takes pride in their work. Like I said, cares about the teammates, wants to be a part of something bigger than themselves. We're a company built on craftsmanship, teamwork, ownership. I think our most successful people bring a strong work ethic, a problem-solving mindset, and a care for the quality of work that they're putting out there. We value people that are, hands-on, dependable, collaborative. They don't just show up for work, but want to live, grow, and contribute to the team. I think you'll thrive at Sentry if you take initiative, you're willing to communicate openly, and you see challenges that we face as opportunities to improve and grow. There's lots of opportunities for growth too. So that's a big other part of our culture is people start at Sentry and they work there for a really long time, which is also, I think, unique to Sentry. A lot of businesses in the area don't necessarily, have a group of people that can say, hey, I've worked here for 30 to 35 years. And Sentry has that. And I think that's really unique. And I think we take a lot of pride in that. So It's awesome to get to say that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Are you guys hiring right now? I guess I'll go ahead and throw that out.
We are. There are jobs posted on our website and our LinkedIn and our Indeed. So yeah, hit us up. Give me a call anytime. I'll be happy to talk to you about the positions we have open. So definitely in our production area, some engineering roles, different things across the whole company.
Yeah. So y'all go and apply.
Yeah.
We're just going to wrap it up a little bit here. So looking ahead, are there any upcoming projects or community initiatives Sentry is super excited about?
Yeah. So we've got this month, actually, we're doing our breast cancer awareness month. Yeah. So we have every year we make a special pink out shirt, Sentry edition, for our employees. Every Friday, our employees deck out our building. Everyone's wearing pink, supporting the cause. We also will, raise money with that as well. Later in the year, we've got the Bright Nights event we're going to do again this year. And Mackenzie, anything I'm forgetting on that list of upcoming events?
Definitely Bright Nights. Yeah, we had a ton of fun at that last year. So I think going bigger and bolder than we did last year, giving out all kinds of Sentry swag and merch. And then obviously just Toys for Tots. We talked about it, but we're really excited. They have a really awesome program director over there this year that I've talked to a few times. He's got tons of ideas, and it's just really neat to come alongside and partner with that. So. And I mean, if anything else comes up, we'll jump on that too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's awesome. One little thing, what does being a part of Art of Pairing Martinis and Moonshine mean to you, like personally? Just in a personal stance.
I think for me, it's just getting more involved in the Bedford area.
Yeah.
Like Sentry, since we've started getting more involved, it seems like Lynchburg has been where the opportunities have been.
Sure.
And that's not necessarily the case. It's just what we have found. So getting to actually come to Bedford has been really cool. We're in Bedford County, Sentry is. So to actually, be on home soil and get to support the more local area to us is just really cool. And as someone who also lives in Bedford County, it just feels special to be in this area.
And so many of our employees are from Bedford as well. We, whether it's, our shop employees, engineering, where we even did a internship program this year, and we identified pretty quickly that a lot of our interns came from Bedford County schools. Yeah. So it just felt like, hey, are we ignoring this community that is like giving us so much that we're a part of? And so we wanted to make sure that was not the case, right? And this was an event that we quickly identified as, oh yeah, this feels like us.
Yeah. That's awesome. I love that. Last one. If you had to pick between a martini or a moonshine at the event, which one are you choosing?
Oh, God.
That's a tough choice. I think I'm known as a moonshine girly.
I would agree.
So,
yeah.
That'll be my pick for sure.
Yeah.
Listen,
some good ones.
Not a big drinker, so I'm going to take more of the vibe of the martini and moonshine, right?
Okay.
Oh man, I mean, a martini is very classy. Yeah. I don't know if I'd be described as classy. I would say the moonshine feel, right? The fun, the South. I'm born from the South. But I guess I'll pick martini to shake it up. That way, again, pun intended, just to shake it up. Maybe I'll go martini as well, but more of the vibe of a martini. What do you think, wife? What do you think that?
Yeah, good take.
I don't know, because he doesn't drink a lot.
Very boring.
So yeah, but moonshine has sweeter flavors to kind of hide a lot
think
of
I'm
that
sweet?
But martinis, you can do a lot more with martinis are gin, right?
Yeah, I think they can be a bunch of different things, but they are fun.
Yeah, they're fun. Like you can make them into a bunch of
really
things.
Maybe an espresso martini.
I've had like a gummy bear martini.
Yeah, like you would
before.
like something like that.
Yeah, they're fun.
Candy.
Yeah, anything candy related, Chandler.
This is kind of derailed a little bit, I think.
Yeah.
Sorry, Bauer.
That's yeah, well, thank you guys so much for joining me today on Behind the Bower. It's really been great just hearing about Sentry equipment, the company culture, and the ways you guys are making an impact right here in our community and beyond. Yeah. And of course, a huge thank you to Sentry as a whole for being this year's title sponsor for Art of Pairing, Martinis and Moonshine. We are so excited for this Saturday, October 18th. It's going to be an incredible night filled with handcrafted cocktails, moonshine tastings, and amazing food, all in celebration of art and community. Every ticket helps support the Bauer Center for the Arts, allowing us to keep offering creative programs, performances, and experiences that bring people together. You can grab your tickets now at bowercenter.org. Thank you again to Sentry for your partnership and generosity, and thanks to all of you for listening, and we'll catch you next time on Behind the Bower.